guys? Welcome to Summer of Blockbusters, where we talk about underseen and underrated movies. Today, we're talking about we're going all the way back to 2006. Remember that time when you were like, "Hey,
Absolutely.
who's president? Probably Obama." I don't know, because we were all very young. But anyway,
Almost. It was almost Obama.
because we're getting there. We're getting to Obama.
The outlook was good, and we were the
Yeah.
light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're talking about a different kind of stuff. When you think summer blockbusters, you think big explosions, you think superheroes, you think Jurassic Parks, but we're
Mhm.
going to a very different type of summer blockbuster. So when we get back on the podcast, join us as we take a trip down to Miami. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for not complaining about the commercials. We know you love them. So here's another one. Join our shorts page. We just hit 28,000 subscribers. Thanks for all the subscribers over there. We have all kinds of shorts: horror, comedy, horror. I'm sure there's a drama in there somewhere, but mostly horror. Go check them out. And if you like that, or if you don't, it does not matter. But also check out our movies. We have them on Tubi. You have The Empty Space, Borderland, and The Last Ones. One is a zombie movie, one is a cosmic horror, and one is a mexploitation film. Find out which ones, because I did it in the wrong order. And then come back and tell us. Anyway, that would really help us. It really helps support our page. Also, like and subscribe as always. And we really like the comments, even the ones that criticize our commercials. We love all the comments. So thank you guys for
More
interacting.
comments, more
Please.
negative comments, please.
Yeah, more
Please,
negative
yeah.
comments. Just kidding.
Give Andrew some fuel.
Yeah.
Give me some reasons to make
Give
the
him-
commercial longer.
Yeah.
Give him something to go through the week.
Haters rise up.
Thank
That's
you. Thank you for jumping in on this. And let's get back to the podcast. Wow, what an interesting commercial. That was great, guys. So today we're talking
loved it.
about one of the best directors. I don't think we've covered any of his work yet, have we?
Not that I know of. Not a lot of it's very underrated.
The Insider, wasn't that?
Oh, we did do the
Oh,
Insider.
yeah.
Did we do
we're
Black
doing-
Cat?
We haven't done Black Cat yet because
Okay.
I can't find the.
We just
director.
bring up Black Cat a lot, but we never
Oh,
do
okay.
it.
But so today, obviously, Black Cat, The Insider, he just released his cast for Heat 2, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Christian Bale. We're talking about Micheal Mann. So Micheal Mann, he started kind of as a TV director, and one of his big TV hits was a little show called Miami Vice. And Miami Vice was obviously a huge hit. It was called it really tapped into the kind of culture at the time. It really played into MTV. And so it played into so much MTV that there's a whole list of just musicians who appeared on Miami Vice as criminals. You had Gene Simmons, you had Phil Collins, he played a drug dealer. You had Frank Zappa. I don't know if Frank Zappa played a drug dealer or if he just played Frank Zappa, but they're kind of the same thing. Nobody knows who Frank Zappa is. But it also
he looks like that.
It had an insane number of guest stars that weren't rock stars. You had Ben Stiller, Bruce Willis, Liam Neeson, even the pilot, which we'll talk about in a second, had James Brown, Julia Roberts. It's crazy how many famous people showed up. And of course, the most famous person, if you had a TV show anytime, Chris Rock was in it. If you had a TV show anytime after 1980 or a movie that had any kind of criminals, you're going to have this guy on there. So, of course, one of the best supporting actors was Steve Buscemi. Thank you, Mr. Buscemi, for showing up in Miami Vice. Oh, Ed
Cool guy.
O'Neill. Remember Ed O'Neill? From Married with Children to
Oh,
Miami
yeah.
Vice to Modern Family.
To
Those
Modern
are huge
Family.
hit.
Yeah.
It kind of got lost. It kind of gets lost in the sauce after it. I mean, it was a TV show and it didn't really stay super relevant. But
Yeah, I've never seen one episode of it, but I've heard about
Yeah.
it so many times. But it's never on syndication or anything like that.
yeah,
It is on
now.
it is on
Oh,
Tubi
okay.
now. If you want to go watch Andrew's movies, then watch Miami Vice back. That's a good double feature.
While Micheal Mann was recording while he was recording a podcast. Now, while he was doing Ali, which starred Will Smith and Jamie Foxx, which we'll eventually cover, it's a good movie. Jamie Foxx was like, "Hey, I loved Miami Vice. You should you should make a movie of it. And like once you get a big star to say you should make a movie of anything, and your director, you make that movie because you're gonna get funding. So he talked to Colin Farrell, who ended up being, so the main characters are Sonny Crockett and Rico Tubbs. And so Colin Farrell stars as Sonny Crockett. Jamie Foxx is, of course, Rico Tubbs. And then also in this movie is John Ortiz, John Hawkes. Thank you, John Hawkes, for showing up in this movie in a very
small
role.
For 2 minutes,
Gong Li. And that's about it. There's a lot of Justin Theroux.
Dom from Entourage is one of the cops with like 3 lines. So I was like, hey, Dom.
We'll talk about as we go along. But yes. Also, before we get into the movie, William said he's never seen any. I actually started to watch the pilot like 3 months ago when I remembered it was on Tubi, and I watched the first episode, and then I was like, I'm okay, I don't need to go back to that. But then since we were doing this episode, I was like, because it was a two-parter.
It's a 2-parter, yeah. I watched the same 2-parter for this.
I was like, I'm okay, I figured it out, so I finished a 2-parter. I will say that, first of all, even in the very first pilot, it starts off with them killing one of Crockett's drug dealer friends who he doesn't realize, and that friend is played by Jimmy Smits. Also, his police chief is played by the main bad guy from Deep Cover, whose name I refuse to learn. And of course, even showing up in this pilot, doing a very, very racist accent, we have Gennaro, the lawyer from Jurassic Park, who gets eaten by a dinosaur.
He's super Cuban
They have dinner with this guy, and he's like a drug dealer. He's like a criminal, and they're just tricking him because they're undercover. And then he leaves. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Bessie? You want to have some drugs? Okay, I bring drugs for you." And then he leaves, and Don Johnson, who played Crockett, says, "Wow, that guy gives new meaning to the word alien." And I was like, wait. wait.
Okay.
Let's back up. That was in the second part of the 2-parter, so I didn't see it the first time.
There's some casual racism in the show. He also, and this is something the movie really lacks. Crockett has a pet alligator that he freed he was a college mascot, took a bite out of another student. He rescued it. Now it lives on his houseboat. He also lives on a houseboat.
He has a houseboat, which I
and he has this guard alligator, which he uses to freak out Tubbs to comic, very high comic degree, So,
what were you gonna say?
You guys have seen the show, like I'm assuming I already know
just
the answer
the first
to this question now. But like, is the vibe of the movie and the vibe of the show in any way close to each other?
I want to kind of talk about this more at the end, but we can talk about it now. I think the biggest problem is that I don't know what the vibe of the show is supposed to be, because it's kind of silly, it's kind of like serious, but I don't know if it's supposed to be like dead serious as the movie is, like, but it's just in the 80s, so like that's
it's like did every Cap show have to be kind of funny back then? I'm not sure, but it does not come across the same either.
Like, because there's like in the middle of the pilot you find out that his partner like is a double crosser. He's been taking the bribes, and he's like, he freaks out, he beats the hell out of him. They have to like rescue the partner from him. But like then immediately after, he like meets up with this girl he's seen, and he's like, "Hey, I would really love you to wake up next to my crocodile." It's like,
is that the actual line? Is that the line?
No, I don't know what the line.
Oh, okay.
It's very like comedy mixed with melodrama, because even his partner, and this I remember being very funny. You only see the partner's family in one scene, but he literally has like a 5-year-old in a wheelchair who's like, "Dad, I did coloring today," and the partner's like, "You understand, his medical treatments are so high," and it's just very like TV soap opera get to the drama,
And the whole thing is just like, one of the most famous things is they play "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. It's kind of what blew Phil Collins up, and you think that because it's such a staple of knowing about the show that it's going to be a big part of it, but like they just play it while they're driving, and then he goes and makes a phone call to his ex-wife and says he loves her, which, to be fair, I will say that's probably happened in real life, where ex-husbands have
Yeah, been
listening
playing
to
that
In
song.
the Air Tonight
Yeah.
as they drive
Yeah.
to desperately call their
It's almost the bit. It's like the lead up to the they're like driving to get ready for the big showdown, but then it just is kind of it almost just plays songs in full. Like in an earlier scene, Tubbs is dancing in a club to that Somebody's Watching Me song, and it just plays the entire song over the scene. It's not like it like setting the scene. It's just fully blasting in the background.
I will say that
very diegetic.
the plot is kind of similar to the movie plot, but let's stop talking about this show. Nobody.
Yeah,
gives a
we're
shit
11
anymore.
minutes into the show now. Let's get to the movie.
I know.
So let's talk about the movie. William, why don't you?
A one-sentence summary of this movie?
Sentence, yeah.
You got it, man. Okay,
Okay,
so an FBI joint task force goes belly up. Miami-Dade PD was not involved. We got 2 undercover agents from the Miami-Dade PD police force, and they're going to take down some bad guys.
Nice. Yes, that is what happened. So, one real quick, we did cover the director's cut of this film,
Yes.
not the original cut, and we will talk about it at the end. But yes, so this movie, well, I guess we'll just get into it, and then we'll talk about how we feel.
Well, it also, like, to give you an idea of what the director's cut adds, especially, like, at the beginning, it just adds shots of boats, like, much longer.
What kind of boats are they? What are they called?
Speedboats?
Go fast boats.
Go fast
They
boats.
call them go fast boats a million times, and I love it.
Why do they call them that? Because they go fast.
Yeah, duh.
It's also,
but it does set the tone, though, you know.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the thing where this, especially when you watch the pilot, and regardless of what the intention is, the pilot does come off like the most 80s TV show ever. So this is kind of a version, like a Heat version, Heat being Micheal Mann's most famous movie, Heat version of Miami Vice.
Right.
But the question is, did anyone want a Heat version of Miami
So
Vice?
that's what's so funny about you guys talking about the TV show. So like, if anyone who hasn't seen this movie, like you're saying, we start off with go fast boats.
Yeah.
We're in clubs. These guys are police detectives. What kind of car does Sonny Crockett drive? A Ferrari.
Yeah.
Why? How does he afford it? Don't ask. You don't need to know. You just need to know that he somehow owns a Ferrari.
They don't have much interiority.
Unlike a much better movie called Bad Boys, where Will Smith got rich parents. That's why he drives a Ferrari.
Yeah, there's more backstory in Bad Boys too.
Yeah, the characters are not as fleshed out as the Bad Boys, or I would even argue as the show versions of themselves.
Yeah,
they're just kind of there.
I would even argue as movie characters are not very fleshed out. So the first thing that happens, and like we'll talk about a little bit of the original cut, just when I remembered stuff. But yeah, they start off on a boat. They're like racing. I don't know. They're doing something on boats.
It's some kind of competition. Yeah.
And they get to the end of it, and then they meet this guy. They meet Dom from Entourage, and they're like, "Oh, we're selling women prostitutes." And so they're like, "But we'll meet at this club. That's where we'll pick the girls." And then we cut to the club, and so the original cut starts at the club.
Right.
And so we don't really know what they're looking for in the director's cut. We just know they're cops. And so in this one, we know that they're trying to buy women. And so they're in the club, and then
we should say too, much like the original was all about 80s music.
Yes,
this is a very 2006 soundtrack movie because they walk into the club and it's playing a song that could only exist in 2006. It's the Jay-Z Linkin Park mashup of
that whole album,
which was the main selling point for the trailer, and it did work because
it's such a. You'd have to have been alive and like young to have been like, oh yeah, this rocks in 2006. Basically, doesn't work anymore.
So they're in the club, and and this is kind of why they didn't show the boat stuff, because they're at the club, and then they get a phone call from an informant, and he says that he's been burned, and they're going to go fight his family, and so he's like, oh no, that's bad. So they're like, well, let's go save him or whatever. And so this is John Hawkes, by the way. He plays Alonzo Stevens. I don't know about that, John Hawkes.
It's like the lawyer from Jurassic Park. Let's have this white guy play a Latin person.
Like Alonzo.
So they send one group to go check on his family, and then they send Crockett and Tubbs go
Well, hold on.
check out.
I do want to mention my favorite part of the opening here
Oh, yeah.
with the Alonzo Stevens. So they get the call from Alonzo, and then Colin Farrell calls the Miami FBI, and they're talking to the Miami FBI. He's like, "I just got a call from our informant. We haven't worked in 6 months. You guys must know him. He's Alonzo Stevens." And the FBI director, who is Kieran Hines, is like,
Yeah.
"Well, how do you guys know him? What do you guys even talk about, Alonzo Stevens?" And Colin Farrell goes, "I don't know, but this is the hand that we've been dealt at 11:47 on this Saturday night." And like that line is the entire movie. That is the whole vibe
Yes.
of this entire film. And 10
Delivered
out of
with
10.
this insane intensity.
Yes.
It is,
Oh my God.
a thing where he is kind of like, what if every character in a movie was just Robert De Niro's character in Heat, where they just everything is very. Here's what's going on, like here's what we're dealing with.
And there's also like, because it's almost, we should describe it now because the whole movie's this way, a dreamlike quality to the editing where it'll just
it's so
kind
surreal.
of, it'll rapid cut, like he's been burned and you don't know by who yet, but then it randomly cuts to like shots of skinheads looking around, so you're like, oh, it's these skinheads. But it'll really just kind of cut every few seconds between like, here's a skinhead in a house, here's John Hawkes looking worried driving, and it's just like the whole thing just feels very, I don't know, disorienting, and it does seem on purpose,
Again, it man, maybe this is why, but it feels like it's cut together like a music video. And
Definitely.
as Suicide Squad, this movie, and so many 2000s horror films can tell you, that doesn't work in film. Although the closest I will say, it looks really cool. Like that when they're telling, they did that scene where they're like, it's 11:47. They're on the roof.
Yeah.
They're
on a skyscraper, obviously. Yeah.
No reason for them to call.
This movie looks real cool. I will say that.
And this is whenever Micheal Mann was starting to do his whole digital revolution thing, which took me, as a young man, that took me a long time to get used to. And I did not like that much at first. So this movie kind of had to grow on me over time. I didn't really like it at first when I first saw it.
As someone who had the grain really high up for Borderland, I appreciate Micheal Mann paving the way and letting me get away with that kind of bullshit.
He ran so you could fly.
And so they eventually go and meet John Hawkes, and then they're like, he's clearly distraught. He's like, they found me, I'm gonna get murdered. And then they call the other thing, and they're like, everyone in the house is dead, his whole family. And so Colin Farrell goes up to him and he goes, you don't need to go home, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man?
He even like hesitates before he says it. He's like,
So
you don't need to go home.
I love this. This is also like a blink and you miss it, because then John Hawkes just in despair leaps in front of like a semi, and you just see a quick red splatter, and within half a second it just cuts to the next scene. It's like instant,
Well, and so then they go back and they meet him, and they're like, you got our informant killed and we want revenge. We're the Miami Dice. And so he's like, okay, you can help us. And then the chief, who's always there but doesn't really do anything, he just kind of supports them, which I guess I'm good for you. But he's like, if they're gonna help you, I want you to deputize them. It's like, all right.
They kind of do. They're like, we need like to not only be on this undercover task force, but we don't have any of the rules of an FBI agent or police officer. He's like, done. It's like, why? Why did you agree to that?
And they're like, you don't get to know how they do what they do.
Yeah,
I would have it no other way. Absolutely.
I know. It's just it's really running through the setup here,
Yeah. Well, it's not running through because we're about 25 minutes into this movie and nothing has really happened yet. So then now the movie has started. 30 minutes in, and you're like, okay, how much longer is this? It's a good movie. Don't listen to me.
It is
got issues, but it's amazing.
It's one of those movies where there's no bad Micheal Mann movies. Well, maybe. I haven't seen all of them.
There's a couple of bad Micheal Mann.
I haven't seen all of his movies. All the ones I've seen are at least good, but
pretty bad ones.
It's one of those where I had not seen it since it was new, and then coming back to it, it gained this reputation of like secretly being the best one. So when I rewatched it, I'm like, no, it still has the same issues. It's the same film, It
is like, well, other than Heat, it is the most like accessible one, because like Micheal Mann has this, like, he loves to just drop you in the middle of a movie, and then you just kind of catch up. But this one is almost it's two in the middle. But anyway,
Yeah.
um, so then they're gonna make this force, and so they realize that there's this guy who they wanna catch, and they're like, this is what he was working on, and he's a cartel member, so they're gonna go undercover to infiltrate them. And see, this is what the problem is with this movie, because they do eventually like go undercover, and then you find out that he's actually a middleman for another guy who works with a girl,
Right.
and like that's who they really want to take out. And it's like, guys, it's Miami Vice. Like,
Right.
really
And
Yeah.
then there's also like an Aryan Brotherhood that we're
There-
kind of worried about at the beginning, and then we're wondering like what vertical integration is with this other cartel.
And,
And if you
they have
think
to
the
like
guys-
take over an informant's house, and that's a big part is they're living in this informant's house, and that's kind
Right.
of a big scene that doesn't totally matter.
Well, it does matter in the fact that the guy goes, "You want me to get killed, baby? I'm not gonna do it."
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby.
I don't know, baby.
Has Sonny and Crocs ever shut you down before?
That's the
Oh.
guy, Eddie Marsan. He
Yes.
plays a lot of rednecks, even though he's super British. He was the
Right,
villain
right.
in Hancock of all things.
He's
Oh,
also
wow.
in this movie playing like, I don't know, like a Southern guy, but he doesn't sound Southern. He just sounds like he's putting on a voice.
He's
Yeah.
like Floridian
As British
Southern,
as
I guess.
possible.
Yeah, he's
I
like
know, he does,
he's like
yeah.
down South Florida type guy.
Yeah. I love when he says "baby," though. That was
Yeah.
that's 10 out
Yeah.
of 10. That's so
Well,
good.
and here's so also at the same time that kind of comes up. A lot of stuff in this movie is kind of important, but not really. Tubbs
Yeah.
is also dating one of
The comps.
the other team
Mhm.
members, and they have like 3 sex scenes, and she has like 5 scenes total.
Yeah.
This is a movie where not only
And
like
they're not sexy sex scenes; they're just very to the point.
Yeah, they're
and
Michael
nobody-
Mann scenes. They're
Yeah.
weird.
None of the like there's weirdly 2 pretty intense romances in this movie where neither of them have like dialogue that like works as romance. But
Yeah.
you will see 4 different sex scenes in like 4
Yeah.
different locations with that
Mhm.
woman, you know.
Yeah, so they're gonna get this house. They're gonna act, and he's gonna be their courtier. And so then they go, and this is kind of like, it's weird because there's parts in this movie where you're kind of into like it gets you piped again. Like they go in, they're like walking to go meet with the drug dealer, and Jamie Foxx is like, "How come it feels like we've got eyes on us 20 blocks deep?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Farrell goes, "It's because we got eyes on us 20 blocks deep."
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then they
because
go-
they actually go to Haiti
Haiti,
yeah.
yeah.
and they're in Port-au-Prince, and then they have to
Port-au-Prince.
meet this guy, Jose Yayo, I believe.
Yeah,
is
they go
his-
talk to
Yeah.
they go talk to Tony Yayo. Yayo means cocaine.
which is
Ah.
he also has another nickname. The what was it? I wrote it down. The Crazy Pig, but in Spanish.
Oh,
Right.
Cochi
Yeah.
Loco.
He's
Right?
the Cochi
Yeah.
Loco.
Yeah.
And so they immediately find out that he's not the main guy that they thought he was. He's the second in command, and he's trying to hire them. And again, this part is really cool because like it's 3 people who are refusing to be intimidated by each other.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
He's like, "Ain't nobody heard of you, Holmes. I'm also putting on a very thick accent, even though
Yeah.
I'm John Ortiz and I'm already Mexican." And then Jamie Foxx is like, "What? You think we're the wire? You think we're working with the cops? Huh?"
Yeah.
And then he goes, "You think we're the man?" And it's like, Jamie,
Yes,
using
you
the
think we're
word
the man. I know.
Using
That
the
was
word
so
the man
good.
in 2006, I'd be like, "Well, now I do."
Yeah, dude. Jesus Christ. Oh, and like
And
I would
then-
say, like, so we're talking earlier about how they're kind of like thin characters and like they're not really that fleshed out. I would say this is like the main character building part for these 2
Yeah.
guys because it's like they're gonna go undercover. They have like what they've done with the police force is like they've tacked on some rap sheets. If you were to Google these guys, you could find out they were
Right.
criminals somewhere. So it's like it's scary. It's a scary situation, and it seems like kind of weird. But then like what Andrew was saying, it's like all these dudes are not going to be intimidated by each other. It's like you see how hard Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell are going to go against this criminal who has a reputation of murdering everybody. So it's like that's how they win is that they just don't care.
They
And
up
are
the
outlaws
stakes.
that are cops. Yeah.
And well, also like it's weird too because before, and this is another kind of issue with this film, is that before the girl calls him and she's kind of worried and she's like, "Oh, what if they Google us?" And he's like, "Well, we made backstories for us, like it goes 3 pages deep or whatever."
Yeah.
So they're never gonna find out that we're cops. Like it's just
they
so
they,
far.
won't, they
Like, we've
won't
done our
click
extension.
4 pages deep
Yeah.
on
And
Google.
so when they're there, Yayo is like, "Hey, let's or he's like, "Oh, we googled you and we didn't find anything, but we know that you have a nice pretty girl." And so then afterwards he calls her and he's like, "Hey, you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But it's like, okay,
Wouldn't
so
they
now
know?
you're worried? Yeah. And not
Yeah,
only
like how
that,
could
but
they not find out about her?
yeah. And they also like it's also the thing where these guys kind of have the Fast and Furious powers where like every plan that they
Yes.
set out to do goes 100% correct.
Right.
And it makes it so like that works in the Fast and Furious because at one point Tyrese is going to get in a car and fly into space. It doesn't work
And it's fine.
in Miami Vice
Yeah.
because we're supposed to be watching a real world. I mean,
Yeah, there's supposed to be more like stakes to it.
yeah,
You
and if
know,
it's not the real world, then throw in some fucking jokes every once in a while, guy.
Exactly. And I think the visual style like really plays into that. Like Fast and Furious is like so cinematic and like crazy,
Yeah.
and it's like a cartoon. But this is like in the digital handy cam, like super edgy,
Right,
super in
right.
your face. And like there's like a shootout that happened before this where like these guys get like shot up in a car and like their arms fly off, and it looks like real war footage. Like it's
like
crazy.
gross.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so it's like whenever they have these like weird slip ups that would be okay in Fast and Furious, just the way the movie looks, like we're kind of like saying it doesn't feel like the same world. It's like
right.
this needs to be airtight because this feels like a documentary.
Yeah, like
But at the
I'm
same
looking
time, though,
for-
I don't really care. It's like I'm still with it, you know?
Yeah. So that's the whole plan, and then they immediately like so Yarrow's like, oh wait, no, they introduce him to the bigger drug dealers,
Mhm.
and now that's where we meet Gong Li, who plays Isabella, who is the main drug dealer's friend. I mean, it's a business partner, but also they hook up sometimes.
But they
I don't know.
do
Yeah.
hook up, and there is a weird like she's like, I'm not
Possession.
married, but
Yeah.
clearly, yeah.
Well, because they first meet and they're like, okay, we want your help, and then Colin Farrell's like, hey, do you want to go to Havana? Like,
Yeah.
she goes, you want to go get a drink? And she goes, yeah, can you drive me to Havana in your Go Fast boat? And he's like, sure, I'm not a
Yes.
cop or anything.
This is also
Right.
this is one of the 3 scenes with the other Jamie Foxx's love interest, because right after the big meeting with the with the big boss, he like calls her and she's like, by the way, thanks for the flowers. And he's like,
That's how he finds
flowers.
out. Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, wait, read the note. And it's like, hello from your friends down south. She's like, wait, who's that? And she's like getting worried. And one, I like that she didn't read the note at all until he told her to. But also he's
Yeah.
like, his response is he goes, all right, we're on our way. Bye. Just saying
Well, not only
so.
that,
The least, like, he's like,
Comforting
don't-
guy.
don't worry about it.
but also she's a cop too. Like she should
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and
that's
she
a
has
little
a secret because she's
suspicious.
like,
Right.
wait, so they found our safe house. This is probably a problem. He's like, it's fine. And it's like,
Well, that's
is
what he
it?
tells her. That's what he tells her.
Yeah.
If they Google us, they're just gonna find us 2 pages deep.
Yeah.
And so
We're
then
cool.
they go off. Oh, and then they go off and they hook up, and they play a lot of techno music.
Yeah.
And they dance.
This scene in Cuba is endless. This is like 30 minutes of the film. It's just
It is a long
Colin
time.
Farrell hanging out with
They
Isabella.
go to a bar. They hook up. Then they go to another bar. Then they take a shower.
Yeah.
Then they and then there's also a funny part where he's like driving back, and then he gets a phone call. And he's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm headed back."
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, guy. So then he walks in and he sees the girl. And here's a weird thing that Colin Farrell does a lot. He keeps referring to the girl, Jamie Foxx's girlfriend, who's again a member of the team, as like darling or sweetheart. He'll be like, "How you doing, sweetheart?" Because he'll like say hi to his love of his life, Tubbs. Be like, "Hey, Tubbs, I'm here to talk to you about Cuba." And then she'll be
Yeah.
like, "Hi, Sonny," and he goes, "Hey, darling." That's
Yeah.
it. And it's
And he has like that
hey-
weird kind of. Oh, go for it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like she's part of your team, and you're degrading her. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Right. And he has like
Isn't
that
that
kind of like
true to
southern charm accent, which
Yeah.
I feel like kind of like they're trying
I-
to like that would have been in the 80s that would have been totally fine.
Well, and it's
But
it's
now,
something where
no.
he has like a mullet, and he has like a handlebar mustache, and he has like a 5 o'clock shadow. So he doesn't look like. Well, I don't know. I'm a guy and I'm a straight man,
Maybe it doesn't.
Despite rumors,
He also
but
we
he
did say,
doesn't
but
look like someone who like ladies would be throwing themselves off. He looks like someone who you would clutch your purse closer as you walk past him.
like
Right.
he's also dyed his hair, and he really did dye his hair, and it's the really bad when you just dye your hair in like the sink at your house and you're 18. And I do respect how bad it looks, because I was like, yeah, a go fast boat drug dealer would have that like hair dye, so it makes him look even worse, you know.
Yeah.
So
And if you
he
look
looks
up,
like trash.
like if you Google Colin Farrell Miami, or if you Google Colin Farrell Miami Vice, the first thing that comes up is hair. Like,
Oh,
apparently
nice.
a lot of people
Yeah.
are like, "What the hell happened?"
What
Yeah.
is
So
he
gets
doing?
back and he's like, "Oh, I love her now," and she's and then there's a funny part where he's like, "You," or Jamie Foxx is like, "Are you hooking up with the boss's girl?" And he's like, "No, I was just filling her out." He's like, "Is that all you were doing?" And he goes, "We were filling each other out."
Yeah. So that makes it
More
okay.
More of
Yeah.
this, guys.
I-
And then we
I-
get to the mob
Yeah.
boss. And again, we just spent 30 minutes of the girl saying, like, telling him, "Hey, I'm independent. I'm not his girlfriend. I'm not his wife.
Mhm.
I'm
I'm
a
a
business
businesswoman."
partner. I got into this to sell drugs or whatever. I built myself up. I'm a self-made man." And then it cuts to her with the cartel guy. And he's like, "Should we trust her?" And she goes, "Yes, we should. I like him." And then he's like, "Okay, let's have sex." And I'm like, we just spent 30 minutes saying this
Yeah.
wasn't
Right.
gonna happen,
Yeah.
and then it happened. So like, what's going on? A woman lying? No, I'm gonna cut that part out.
But it's not even like
Whoa.
it, I
It
think
didn't come out as sarcastic as I needed it to.
part of the problem is, and I think that the tone of it is like kind of like you said, there's no jokes. She plays it so serious, and that's not treated as like a twist so much as just like a fact of like, oh, of course she sleeps with him. That's part of it, but it's like that's still weirdly like counteracting what she just said. You know, it's like she's still playing it as this like strict businesswoman.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, she's doing a double agent kind
Well,
of thing. Like it's exactly what
another-
Colin Farrell's
but
doing.
not really on purpose. Like that's not the plot. You know.
Another big thing with this is that Gong Li, who, I mean, she eventually goes on to play, like, she's been in Mulan, the American remake, the much loved American remake of Mulan. Hannibal Rising, she plays the aunt. But this is one of her first movies where she's speaking in English, and her English is serviceable at best. It's very hard to, like, it's not that she can't speak English, it's that, like, there's a line where she goes, "Is it December? Did Christmas come early?" And it does not come off as a joke because it doesn't sound like she knows it's supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
That she's just
And
kind of.
so it's very hard to get into her.
But they also like
unlike Colin Farrell.
Like the rest of the movie is like so low key that it's like everyone's like, it's not a very subtle movie, but like we were saying earlier, like it's documentary style. Like everything feels very real and kind of like down to earth in a weird way. But like kind of like you're saying with like Gong Li, it's like she's not really versed enough to like be that subtle, like the way that everybody else is being. So it is kind of like she's a bit of an outlier for the rest of the cast. Like she does seem different than
kind of in it. Although I would say too, like, because you know how you said like at the beginning, Colin Farrell's like it's 11:47 p.m. and we've been dealt. He also delivers every romantic line to her in that same tone and like kind of intensity. And you're like, I'm sorry, man, this is not romantic. You come across like a crazy person.
Well,
you know?
They say to do this deal, what they're gonna do is guarantee the shipment. And then she's like, "Well, I don't know." He's like, "But we want to be partners with you." And she's like, probably not. And then Colin Farrell's like, "What? What happened?" And it's like, how has this never come up before, Colin Farrell? Do you sleep with all the cartel bosses?
It almost seems like he didn't have a plan after, so like, because he implies he's saying, like, this is part of my plan. And it's like, I think you just wanted to hit and weren't really thinking ahead, but you're also not enough of a character for this to like.
Well, because then the big thing is during the shipment, they almost get jacked by what turns out to be Joseyero's guys. And then they stop it and they're like, "Hey, we got caught." So the point was that they were supposed to do this run, and then Yero was gonna rip off his own boss, kill these guys, and then blame those guys on it. Yeah. But they kill the guys, and they get the drugs, and they're like, "Here, we're gonna give you the drugs, and we're gonna keep the money, but we're not gonna charge you for the drugs that they were gonna try to steal." But all this happens in like the blink of the eye, so you don't like they talk about it. because they have a meeting. They're like, we're not going to charge you for the drugs.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that's our gift to you to like
an investment.
store this partnership. And
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what the hell happened? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, it's such
Right.
it's not like you'd almost feel like, oh, this would be a good excuse for kind of a big like middle of the
Action
movie
scene.
set piece.
Mhm.
But it's just mostly them talking about it afterwards and like doing the negotiation. It's like a movie just not very interested in action at all, you know?
Right.
It's
Right.
odd. Very odd.
Yeah. And so then they're like, okay, we're going to give you an either bigger load. And again, like, these are the cops. Like, so much of this movie, and like, I mean, I don't know. When you watch Fast and Furious, there's like parts where they're checking in with the chief, so you're reminded they're a cop and they're conflicted.
Yeah.
So much of this movie is just Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx just acting like criminals and really not doing anything that's helping their case. Or
Yeah.
helping like do any. They're just doing criminal shit just
Yeah.
to do it, you know? Like,
Which
and
I'm like,
I mean,
I'm not against it.
It's not the worst if it was a little bit more fun. So then, then they like they're gonna do this other run, and then they get to the girl, or they kidnap the girl, and they're going to like the
Jimmy
Aryan
Fox's girl,
Brotherhood.
or
Yeah.
Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx's
yeah.
girl.
On
Right.
the way to it, they essentially get the call on the Go Fast boat.
And they're like,
by the way,
we're the neo Nazis. We came back to be relevant. Not like
remember
Right.
us from
criminal-
90 minutes ago? We're back in
Remember-
the movie
Yeah.
now.
remember those criminals that you met at the beginning? Not those guys. Different. guys.
right,
So
the
we're
scariest
talking
white
about-
dude you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and they have her in. They've kidnapped her and they have her in a trailer park because, of course, they do. Again, very similar to Bad Boys 2, and you should not be taking plot points
Yeah.
from Bad
Some
Boys 2 if you're
cues.
trying to make a serious
Yeah.
movie. And so
Yeah, we got
this is
Haitians too, all kinds of stuff.
yeah, and this is a cool scene because they kind of go in and like Jamie Foxx is in there, and then like the girl, there's another female that's part of the team that maybe has 2 lines, and
Yeah.
she's in there, and like they have her all beat up, and they have a gun, they have guns on him, and he has a bomb. He's like, if you let me go, I'm gonna kill her because she has like a bomb around her neck.
Thing strapped
Mm.
to her, yeah. It's
And
the
then the
dead
guy
man's
goes-
switch, essentially.
Yeah, and the girl goes, no, that's not gonna happen. Well, what happened is.
Yeah,
I will
twice.
shoot you. And her saying it twice I always remember it because it's like that's the movie you want to be making, is this kind of very serious, here's how cops deal with cartels and
Yes.
how many bitches they have to get. I'm not sure that's the film you have.
Yeah.
I think your
That's-
film is kind of
That's
in the
about
middle.
20
There are
minutes of the
elements of it,
movie is
yeah.
that film. And it's a good
Yeah.
20 minutes. I like that 20 minutes. It's
Yeah.
just...
And then so then they kill her. I mean, they kill the Aryan Brotherhood. They rescue the girl, and the girl is like in a coma because she has brain bleed and she's like a collapsed lung. They say like she has a collapsed lung, but the more thing I'm worried about is the brain bleed. We don't know if she'll ever wake up. And then Colin Farrell's also meeting with Gong Li, and Gong Li's like, he's like, hey, we should just run away and like hook up. I'm not
Yeah.
a cop or anything, but we should do that. And so she tells him, if I leave and you're wrong, like, and you don't take care of me, then I'm gonna leave the only life I've ever known since I was 17 years old. And it's like, just thinking like you're eating you go to the movies in 2006, you're like, yeah, president's bad, but this movie will make me feel good. And then you're eating popcorn, then you're watching a movie about what seems to be some kind of sex trafficking victim who managed to get enough of a job where she's still being sex trafficked, but just by the cartel head. And then
Yeah.
the other girl has a collapsed lung, his brain is bleeding. What what am I supposed to be feeling?
Oh,
I'm just
and
here being depressed as
this whole movie, like the soundtrack is just like low guitar tones, and like everything takes place at
Yeah.
night, and even when it's daytime, it feels like it's evening. Like
Yeah.
this is a real downer
it's-
blockbuster.
It's very
Yeah.
like, you know how Bad Boys is just super Michael Bay Coke fueled? This is like a ketamine action film where you're just like,
Yeah.
what's, you know, what's happening now?
Yeah.
Just kind of
And-
staring at it, not
Yeah.
reacting. Yeah.
So then Yero's like, oh, by the way, Isabella's also evil. So they capture Isabella, and now they have to go up against them again. And it's Yero and his man, and then more Aryan Brotherhoods. Now that they're at Miami Vice shipyard, which again happens
This is-
in the pilot. Very weird.
Yeah, no, and this is
Oh.
funny. They're driving to it, and it's like it's a cover of "In the Air Tonight" by like Audio Slave or something.
It sounds like a weird version of Tool. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like
I
kind of
don't
new
know
metal-y.
who's doing it, but it's
Yeah.
not good. It's not a
No.
good cover at all.
There's a lot of
you
butt
know?
rock in this movie for sure.
It's
Yeah.
there's definitely multiple audio slave tracks, which I did not enjoy.
It's
frankly.
definitely one of those movies where the soundtrack, like, it sounds good in the movie, but then if you listen to the soundtrack afterwards, you're like, oh, this song is 8 minutes long and terrible. Like, it's just
Yeah.
pennies in my pocket 45 times, which I do like. That's the best song on it. But so then they like fight at the shipyard. And the reason that we're going through this plot so fast is because they go through the plot so fast.
It-
Like, they shoot guns at each other, and then Yarrow, who's the biggest villain of the movie, who like started this, killed their friend, they
Mhm.
just kind of shoot him with the shotgun.
Which is
It's like
it's
a
great
big
'cause-
shotgun too. Like they put a
Yeah.
freaking
'cause
hole,
they
like
even,
an
like,
elephant gun into him.
the setup for this scene is even a very Bad Boys. Like he has her, and they're doing the handoff, and Yarrow has her, and Isabelle's kidnapped her, and he's doing the like taunting villain, like maybe I play with her before I get tired.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, again, this is a new movie, and it's weird that you want to rush through this versus like 45 minutes of shower scenes earlier.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
why are you speeding through your climax? You know?
Because then it ends, and he like Crockett takes Isabella to leave the country and go to Cuba so she doesn't get arrested. And then it ends with them just kind of going to see Trudy's, Jamie Foxx's girlfriend. They go see Trudy in the hospital, and she kind of moves her hand, and they're like, "She's awake," and it's like, well, that's the spasm. But also, again, you're ending your huge blockbuster. You don't even catch the main guy, and you and like it ends with them just kind of visiting someone in the hospital who may or may not wake up from a coma.
Yeah.
it's like,
It's like Colin
Yeah.
Farrell
Based on
dramatically
a true
walking into the
story.
back
It's just-
entrance of a hospital.
Yeah,
And then just
literally just
the
them
lights just
slowly
go off.
walking in the crowd. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, there's not like they have like a little talk after Crockett and Tubbs. There's no like, there's just
This
nothing.
is a vice
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah, I don't even want to see him talk. I just want to see him
It
walk
ends
into a
with
hospital.
less pomp and circumstance than the pilot of the show.
Yeah. Well, and it's yeah. So here's and then I'm gonna say something. First of all, let's just say that Micheal Mann has said that the director's cut is not really his director's cut. He just views it as an alternate cut of the movie.
Okay.
And this is one of the rare instances where after I saw this, I went back and rewatched the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut is much better than director's cut, but here's one issue with the theatrical cut. It makes absolutely no sense. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
barely,
yeah.
they don't even really go over killing Yarrow. It like they don't even talk about the mob boss in that one. It just
Yeah.
kind of ends, and it doesn't
Mhm.
even like it's not even clear what's going on. But man, the vibes in that one are so much faster than this one.
It's just
Yeah,
it's snappier.
I don't think
I'm
I'd ever
almost
seen the
like-
director's cut until now.
Oh,
I've
really?
actually
Yeah.
only seen the director's cut, but I'm almost like, is it kind of intentionally drawn out? Because you're kind of talking like, oh, every scene is just very kind of low key, sad guitars while someone's like staring at someone else, and I'm like, it almost feels purposely very like listless, and it's almost
Yeah.
like he almost made it longer and more listless, you know?
Yeah,
It's like way
I
more
think-
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the best comparison is Apocalypse Now Redux, where it's like, no, it was
Oh, I
good
could
that
see
you kind
that.
of slim this down. Like this did
Yeah.
not. It's already in a dreamlike state, so you don't
Mhm.
need to make it longer to add that. dreamness
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
already-
I've seen the original cut like I don't know 4 or 5 times maybe. It's not my favorite Micheal Mann, but like I do really enjoy it. And I don't know, it did add a lot of weirdness, but like something that I think that's really cool about this movie, and it's something that we always talk about this podcast, is that like no one else is going to have the balls to make a listless, weird action movie that doesn't really
Yeah.
make any sense, where they drive Ferraris and they're detectives and nothing is
There's the
explained.
bumps.
And it's like I'm kind of into it. I'm like, you
See-
went badass for no reason, and you didn't
Yeah.
care what anyone thought, and like I liked the director's cut a
I
lot.
do
thought it
almost
was great.
respect. There's almost like I don't know why we would have talked about the typeface, but the credits, both beginning and ending, is this dark blue font that
Yeah,
you can't even read the names because it's over water. That's also dark blue,
Yeah,
and it's almost like the movie's daring you to be like, yeah, you're not going to be able to understand this. Deal
Right,
with it,
right.
you know. And it's like that's like almost setting you up for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I will say that between the difference 11 minutes makes, because I do find that the theatrical cut and even both movies, I agree with William that it is kind of cool. Like now they're making a new Miami Vice movie and it's going to be called Miami Vice like 85, and they're like it's going to be flashy and
Oh, they're gonna
colorful, and it's
lean
like
into the '80s stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what we thought you were going to do anyway. So like Michael Mann being like, well, you wanted a Michael Mann Miami Vice movie. That's what you're getting. Like that's
Exactly.
what I'm
Yeah,
delivering
not a
to you.
period
Right.
piece. This is 2006. This is what
Yeah.
2006 feels like.
Yeah.
And that's
This is how bad things are going.
right.
in
And like that's kind of what
2006.
whenever Andrew was saying, I'm
Yeah.
eating popcorn and I'm trying to have a good time at the movies, and I'm watching this lady with brain bleed and all this depressing stuff going on, and it's like that's true, and then it's like, oh well, yeah, it's a Michael Mann movie. Like when has he ever
Right.
made you feel good? Like never
Yeah.
once. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's always weird.
I would say Collateral definitely kind of like is very kind of wacky.
Yeah, that's
and
probably the
fun.
most like mainstream action movie. he's ever
That's
made,
the most
for sure.
kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
this is very, because it's
It's more
also Jamie
plot-driven.
Foxx, like, and it's
Mhm.
Jamie Foxx doing like a character who's very like fun, whereas this is him staring dead-eyed at like drug dealers. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
It is weird because Collateral is a good example of like that kind of character in Tom Cruise, like is very businesslike, but still is playful, and that's what they needed. At
Mhm.
least one of them to do that. Like maybe not Jamie Foxx, but maybe Colin Farrell should have been
Kind of
more
a
like
straight
that,
man,
because he
you know,
already comes off as
versus
creepy as shit. And
Yeah.
then they should have made Jamie Foxx a little bit cooler. I mean, he's like, it's weird because Jamie Foxx is the tough one. It's like, but now
Yeah.
you have the tough one and the one that's kind of tough, but not as much as the tough one. And it's like those two dynamics aren't exactly the most compelling. I'll say that.
you would almost
Right,
want
right.
like the Colin Farrell to be like kind of Lethal Weapon unhinged, where it's like, oh, you don't know if he's just going to kill himself
Yeah.
in this scene, and it's like instead
Yeah.
he's also just kind of
Right.
playing it as
Make it more tense with him going off with Gong Li and like, okay, is he gonna come back? ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's worth watching. I would watch the theatrical cut first, at least.
Yeah.
And then you can watch the director's cut. The director's cut does have In the Air Tonight, and the theatrical cut puts it at the credits, which doesn't count. So
Oh,
if you
yeah.
really want the full Miami Vice experience, you're going to need
That's what
to
you
see
gotta
the
do.
director's cut. Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, much like in the original pilot, they just kind of play it. They just kind of play it when they're driving.
Yeah,
And then
it's
it kind
just-
of stops. and
it
makes
is
it
a very similar setup, and
Yeah.
I did like that.
no calls to the ex-wife, but it's also like it is
Yeah.
such a funny where it's like, imagine going to, I remember, oh, maybe we'll talk about that movie this summer, when we saw the Lost in Space remake from 1997 or whatever. My
Yeah.
dad loved Lost in Space, and as we were leaving, he was like, I don't know what that was. It
Yeah,
was a very
Like,
serious
not even
version of
close.
Lost in Space,
Yeah.
which was
Right.
a show I loved as a kid because it was funny. So,
Yeah.
I could see a lot of people, but since I didn't watch Miami Vice before, it works.
Same.
for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, Colin Farrell, I love that you take roles regardless, and you're like, I'm gonna make this guy look like a redneck for some reason.
Yeah. You just gotta trust my Riz.
Yeah,
I
That's
do
really what it
respect
is.
his commitment. Yeah,
more
Yeah.
of that,
It's-
less of being in fat suits for comic book shows.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend it. Go
Yeah.
check it out. Go check out the theatrical cut. Tell us which one you like better, and then tell us what your favorite Michael Mann movie is. And we'll see you guys
Yes.
next week. Is there anything else? You guys have any last notes on Miami Vice?
No, check
Check it out. Watch it.
and
It's cool.
watch the first 2 episodes of the show on Tubi, and you'll probably also very much enjoy it.
I'm gonna do that this weekend. Yeah.
It's very charming. It's very 80s.
Yeah.
Normally we say we should watch this movie and just have it on in the background of a party. You
Yeah.
shouldn't do that. You should pay attention
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
If you're
This is
paying
not-
if you're watching with it and you're folding your laundry, like that's not the worst. That's
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
worst.
You might miss
It's,
something, but
it's
it's
definitely
okay.
Yeah.
not a party film, but it is definitely you're doing
It's the
something else, and you're
vibes.
like, oh, he's
Yeah.
still in Cuba dancing in a different
Yeah.
scene.
Right.
It's a
Right.
vibes movie because if you try to keep up with the investigation, you're just gonna be even more lost than if you just
Yeah.
live with it.
It's tough
Um,
to
but
explain.
Yeah. So check it out, and we'll see you guys next week on the Bomb Split. Cool.